Hello, everybody. This is Martha Alter Hines with Living the One Light. Okay, so today I am feeling called to talk with you about the upcoming new moon at 26 degrees of Gemini, which is going to be conjunct the asteroid Juno and is going to be opposite the Galactic Center. And there's so many components to this, to the new moon itself astrologically, and so much coming through in my praying and in the energies I'm feeling from the spirit world. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. And I would love to hear your reflections, your thoughts. I've been hearing from lots of you about these videos. And then also, many of you know that I'm right in the middle of Rebecoming the One, the symposium. And many of you are signed up for that and are participating in that. And I'm loving getting to experience that with you. So any of you who aren't currently signed up for Rebecoming the One, it is a free symposium that runs for the whole month of June 2023 that I'm hosting along with 33 other speakers. And there are, amazing speakers, including many wonderful astrologers, very well known, and other well-known people, and just wonderful humans, including all of you participating. So that you can still sign up for free anytime, even if you're hearing this video somehow after June 2023, it's going to be free and available indefinitely for ever, as long as Teachable exists, because it's on my Teachable site. So I'll put the link here. Please do sign up if you haven't already. And there are some optional paid workshops that if you want to help support the work of the symposium, and or if you just really want to go to these workshops, they're really wonderful workshops available too. So all of that is available with the link that I'm putting here with the video. So to drop into what's wanting to come through about this new moon. Okay, so many things. It's like needing to translate into human words. Okay. So one of the big overarching themes that I'm feeling held in the energetics of this new moon is the sense of there being a way that we're being called into having a perspective on life, in particular around relationships, around relating, communicating with each other, and being in right relationship, even in ourselves, and the sacred union in ourselves, and the commitment within ourselves, Juno energy, but also in what we mean when we say, sacred union with an other of any kind. Gemini, there's like a multiplicity of possible ways we can do that. And so I'm going to really briefly show you the chart of the new moon. I'm going to run through the astrology of it real quick. For those of you who follow astrology, for those of you who don't, just let it wash over you. Feel the energy of it. Don't worry about the details. And then I'll go into my own sense of, really what's wanting to come through is kind of beyond the astrology. It's more my what I'm getting called into by the spirit world. And it certainly is related to the astrology, but it's way beyond the astrology chart. So I'm just going to show you the astrology charts because it helps to ground what I'm talking about in a certain way. And then I will come out of screen share and say some other things. So, okay. The new moon itself is at 26:43 Gemini. The moon and the sun are together, of course. And that's going to occur on June 17th, 2023 at 9:36 p.m., which for lots and lots, that's Pacific time. So in most of the world, actually, the new moon will occur on June 18th, Sunday, 2023. The new moon, like I said, is going to be conjunct Juno. And the place in the sky where we would see the Galactic Center, which is the center of our Milky Way galaxy. Like if you think of our galaxy as that spiral, the Galactic Center is the very center of it. That point to us from our perspective on Earth is at approximately 27 degrees of Sagittarius right now. So the new moon at 26, almost 27 degrees of Gemini will be opposite the galactic center. Some other really significant things happening astrologically on this new moon that I'm being called to are that Venus and Mars are going to be almost in a conjunction. They're not actually going to become conjunct, because Venus is going to go retrograde in Leo, and anyway, they won't become conjunct, but they are very close at this time of the new moon. And so Venus is at 11 degrees of Leo, Mars is at 16 degrees of Leo, and this, Leo energy around the divine feminine, divine masculine, and life force energy is a big theme I see in the chart. And what's really interesting also is that Cheroklo, the centaur, the goddess, the wife of Chiron, who is this, represents this, to me, this energy of just holding space, holding healing space for all things. She's one of my favorite energies astrologically. I love Cheroklo. She is going to be going retrograde, sitting exactly opposite this Venus Mars, almost conjunction. She'll be basically opposite Venus, really. But and then another really few more significant things going on astrologically at this time is that Pluto will have just re-entered Capricorn. Pluto's going retrograde. It went retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and it will have just re-entered Capricorn, where it's going to be, it's going to go direct later this fall at 27 degrees of Capricorn, I believe. And it's doing this dance right now between Capricorn and Aquarius. So that's a whole topic in and of itself, but that's really significant that Pluto will have just re-entered Capricorn. It's also in this square with the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon are going to be switching signs, in July. So they're currently going to be at 2 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. Jupiter was just conjunct the North Node, and it's still pretty close to the North Node. And Pluto is actually in a grand Earth trine with Ceres, the dwarf planet, or asteroid, depending on how you like to call her, and the asteroid Vesta. So it's a really beautiful, interesting, very earthy, grounding, nourishing, sacred sense of transformational relationship, with our bodies, with ourselves, there's so much there, even just in this grand trine. Neptune is opposite Ceres as it's in that grand trine with Pluto and Vesta, and Saturn. On the same day as this new moon, Saturn will, just a few hours before the new moon, Saturn will be going retrograde at 7 degrees of Pisces. Big thing. If you have any planets between 0 degrees of Pisces and 7 degrees of Pisces, Saturn is going to be going back and forth over that area quite a lot this year. So that's definitely something to take note of. Also, if you have any planets 0 to 7 of Virgo, 0 to 7 of Gemini, 0 to 7 of Sagittarius, those will also really get highlighted. And then the last thing I want to name, just astrologically, that's happening also within a couple of 2-3 days before the new moon, Sedna, the Oort cloud body, who has more than a 11,000 year orbit, will be, if we consider Sedna to be associated with our ecliptic, and she's really not on our ecliptic at all, but if we were to kind of collapse her orbit to meet the plane of our ecliptic, then she would be entering Gemini for the first time in, more than 11,000 years. So those are all really big shifts. And Pluto is doing a dance between Capricorn and Aquarius at the same time that Sedna is doing this dance between Taurus and Gemini. So theoretically, again, if you think of Sedna as being on our ecliptic, which it's not, then Pluto and Sedna are in a trine, a long-term trine. And as I've talked about before, and as Kelley Hunter talks about, and Pam Gregory and Heather Ensworth, I think, maybe talks about it a little, is that Pluto is in a long-term square with Haumea, which I accidentally took off this chart because I was trying to eliminate things to make it less and make it more simple for you guys. But I didn't mean to take Haumea away. Haumea is right here at about 29 Libra. So on the south node of the moon and in a long-term square with Pluto. Okay, so what does that all mean to me? What I'm feeling in this, I'm going to come out of the chart because I'm feeling called to speak to it more in terms of what I'm feeling from the pull, the draw I'm feeling from the spirit world. Okay, so this is me taking the leap to speak the full truth, to be fully spiritually transparent. Because like I said in my latest video, the spirit world and lots of you guys are saying to me, just be direct and honest and don't hide any of these things, because that's what the world needs. So one thing the spirit world has been saying to me actually is the sentence, coming fully out of the spiritual closet is an act of social and environmental justice, which feels really true. So I'm trying really hard to not hide and just say it like it is from my perspective. So this is me doing that. And it's a learning edge for me. So I'm just being honest. Okay. So ever since the new moon in Taurus that day, I channeled the Pleiadians, or the Pleiadian energy, really. It's more like the Pleiadian light. And that is the first time I have ever channeled a star system. I've channeled a lot of things. I've channeled books. I've channeled a book called The Cosmos Speaks. So it's not that it's unusual for me to channel cosmic entities, but I've definitely never channeled a star system that I know of, not consciously. And it was really profound. And I've been having a series of deeply profound experiences since then. And it's like the energy of this Pleiadian light has been just entering my body and connecting through my body into it's like the heart, the light of the heart of Mother Gaia Earth sparks awake, fills her body, which is also my body, and then my own heart sparks awake. The light of my being mixes with that light of the heart of Mother Gaia Earth, and then this light of, usually it's the light of source, then the heart of source then mixes with those two, and it becomes three as one, like that. Now what's been happening really is that the light of the Pleiadian system has been tapping into my body, tapping into my being, and it's like it's pulling me into a different energetic. And what they've been showing me and saying is that when it comes especially to relationship, to relating, to this whole notion we have around the concept of sacred union, even sacred sexuality or sexuality in general, we've been getting very often very caught up in like mine versus yours, his versus hers, like the masculine perspective versus the feminine perspective. All of these kind of more contentious, each of us in our own ways trying to protect our space, protect our needs, put up boundaries, get really clear about our needs. A lot of healthy, ultimately in a certain way, healthy things that we should be doing, and not that we shouldn't name our needs. Like that's good and important in a certain sense. But it's like they're pulling me out of that and giving me this meta overview of what they keep saying is like, here's the long, slow view of how this all looks from the perspective of love. Real, actual, true, ultimate love. And it's a game changer. It's like, believe me, I'm in my own process with it. It's not, I haven't completed my lesson, whatever that is. Do we ever complete it? But anyway, I'm still learning from it. So big time. So I'm naming it to you as I'm in process with it, because it feels, well, because they're telling me to, really. And so how this relates to this new moon is, what they're basically saying is that, similar to the energy of the Galactic Center, which is where, this new moon will be opposite the Galactic Center. The Galactic Center is like energetically, my experience, I would love to know your experience. My sense is that it's like a portal to the void, a portal to the all that is, a portal to the space of beyond the time-space continuum that is the nothing and the everything. That's where I'm taken in my praying every day, is to the space of the nothing and the everything. And I know that space is talked about in a lot of like ancient Buddhist ways of being. I don't personally, if you have this experience also, I would love to know about it, because I don't know a lot of people who experience it directly the way that I do, but that is where I'm taken every day in my praying. And it's basically where I channel from most of the time. So essentially what the spirit world is saying is that it's really important for us to remember what it is to be of that nothing and that everything, because that's ultimately what we are. So for something to be activating the Galactic Center, or to be, right in opposite, which is like in direct relationship with it. It's like direct, like it's facing you face to face, like it's mirroring you. It's like we're looking straight into that void and the energy of this new moon with Juno there. So it's like suddenly we can tap into what is that all that is, and that nothing and that everything. What is when we think about anything, we think about any question we have, but in particular, if we're thinking about communication, we're thinking about relationship, we're thinking about sacred union, we're thinking about divine union, we're thinking about just being in relationship within ourselves and with each other, with an other, with a significant other, all of the above. In our human way of approaching it, there's a lot of the sense of, just needing to protect ourselves. And we can get locked into a certain way of communicating and a certain way of being that really ultimately probably isn't going to go much of anywhere. So what this Pleiadian energetic is trying to do over and over and over again with me, and they're wanting me to convey this to you listening also, is there's another way. Of course there is another way. There's lots of other ways. But part of what I feel happening in general right now is that because so many of the galactic, our galactic alignments are happening right now, with the South Node being on the Shapely Attractor, our recent full moon was on the Great Attractor. And if you want to learn more about that, or you can go back and see my last video where I talked a little bit about it. And then Julia Belaz is the one who I know of who really does work on this. She recently did an interview with Heather Ensworth and another interview with Pam Gregory. And then she has her own, website and her own YouTube channel and all of that. So definitely look into her work if you're interested in all of it. It's something that's calling to me very strongly also. And I just, what I'm feeling in it is that the way that everything is aligning right now, it's like, this has never not been true, but suddenly it's like I'm feeling the light of the inner core, the heart of Mother Gaia Earth, connecting in with our own beings, the heart, our own lights of our own hearts, and then connecting in with the infinite cosmic light grid of everything and anything, and then the void of the nothing and the everything beyond that. And when that happens, which I feel happening, I mean, it's happening. I'm feeling it for sure. And I wonder if any of you are feeling it. It's like, boom, the whole thing, the whole system just comes right online, just boom, like that. And we can, when we're in that alignment, that grounding, that oneness, we're in the wholeness of the all that is. And then everything can come into balance and harmony in a way that, it can't really, when we're not in that grounding and that alignment. And part of what I'm feeling happening as that alignment is coming back online is I feel each of these star systems, and the Earth itself, all of the planets, all beings in the cosmos and beyond, whether they're stars, whether they're galaxies, whether they're black holes, whether they're planets, asteroids, whatever it is, they each are talking, they each have a song, they each have a medicine, they each have a relationship to everything else, including ourselves. And I feel them each reminding us of these ways of being, these aspects of who we are, that it's like they can energetically pull us back into remembering who we are. They each have a way they can do that. So it's like, if I think about animals on this planet, if I think about being with, sometimes I imagine, it's something you might even want to try if you haven't tried this before. It's really random that I'm mentioning this, but maybe there's a reason I'm mentioning it. Sometimes if I'm really wanting comforting, I have various things that I do for myself, but one of the things that I do is I'll often relax into imagining being like in a den with wolves or with whatever animal calls to me, and I'll just imagine lying curled up and like a mother wolf, her back against my back, and I'll just breathe into it. And there's a way of being in that space, in that place that's so far beyond words, and it's like my nervous system can relax in a way that it is just such a gift. And so similarly, not exactly the same, but similarly, I feel like there are ways in which the energetic of the Pleiadians, but then, whatever it is, the Andromeda galaxy, pick a star, any star, pick a galaxy, any galaxy, pick an asteroid, pick a planet, pick anything, anything in life, a tree, pick an oak tree or whatever it is. There's an energetic and a wisdom and an ancient, wisdom is not even the right word. It's like deep, multi-layered way of knowing, a way of being of each of these beings. And suddenly it's like they're all clicking together. And they're each our friends, and we're their friends, and we're here doing this together. So suddenly they can come online and show us and teach us in ways that is, maybe just right for you, or just right for me, or whatever it is that we are ready for, needing in that moment, or how we can be of service to it all also. So it's not just a one-way thing, either us taking or giving. It just is. I mean, it's the light grid of everything, right? So it's like the light flows in all directions, everywhere, constantly, continuously, through all of time, all of space, infinite dimensions, simultaneously, all at once. It's alive. It's life. It's life. That's the way to put it. Yeah, so with regard to relationship, sacred union, all of that, it's what the Palladian energy is really saying to me is, this is true love. And they keep saying, let us show you, let me show you what this is to be in real, true love, in the slow way, in the long view way, the big perspective on all of life and all of time and all of space. And so, back to the astrology, just to say that Cheroklo is there opposite Venus and Mars. It's like this beautiful energy of her just holding, loving, unconditionally loving space for this relating of the divine feminine and divine masculine. And then Juno conjunct the new moon opposite the galactic center. I mean, if we just take that, there's so many other components I could name also in the astrology of it all, but if we just take those two things, it's like it's the perfect combination for us to just feel like it's okay. Like each of our intentions is good. Each of us wants the same thing. Each of us wants to love and be loved, period. On the ultimate level. Maybe it doesn't seem like that in the actions in the moment, but on the ultimate level, that's true. And that's the natural balance and harmony of all things, ultimately, is love. Divine love. The state of love. Yeah. So I think that feels complete in terms of talking about the new moon. But I will say that all of this that I've just named about the energetic of this new moon, and regarding relationship, regarding the feminine, the masculine, and coming into the multiplicity of ways of being with gender, the multiplicity of ways of being with relationship, sacred union, all of it is uncannily beautiful and perfect with regard to the symposium, Rebecoming the One. So as of this moment that I'm making this recording, it is Tuesday, June 6th, and we are in the middle of the first week of Rebecoming the One, which is each week has a theme. This week is on the divine feminine. Next week is on the divine masculine. The week after that is on the divine person. So the divine person week actually starts right at the time of the new moon, which is kind of weirdly perfect, because Gemini is so much about multiple ways of being, and it's ruled by Mercury, who is an androgynous being. It's really a they, not so much, and we call it he, but we could call it Mercury they, like a non-binary gender fluid kind of energy. So that's just really fascinating that's when I felt called to start that week. Really interesting. And then the last week of June is going to be week 4 of the symposium, which is called Bringing Us All to Wholeness, Rebecoming the One. And yeah, so much I could say about the symposium. Again, if you haven't joined it for free yet, please definitely do. So much good there. The speakers include Melanie Reinhart, Heather Ensworth, Kelley Hunter, Moshe Wolfe, Verena Borell. I'm just naming some of the astrologers. Michelle Dench, Louise Edington. I know I'm forgetting several. Matthew Engel, Gemini Brett. Gemini's talk will come out actually on the new moon in Gemini. Very perfect. So that's really awesome. Yeah, he did a beautiful talk on Black Moon Lilith and the astronomy regarding Black Moon Lilith. So beautiful. All of these talks are so beautiful. Another really well-known speaker in the symposium who is not an astrologer is Anne Baring. She's 91 years old. She's a scholar, English scholar on the divine feminine. Her talk is already out. It came out a couple days ago. It's probably one of the most deeply moving conversations I've ever had in my whole entire life. I'm not exaggerating. It's an incredibly beautiful conversation. She's an amazing human. Yeah, so much more there. And then there are these optional paid workshops. One of them this Friday is with Kelley Hunter. So if you are into astrology and you're into the divine feminine in astrology, she's doing she's really known. Pam Gregory does a lot of interviews with her regarding the Kuiper Belt objects, which is how I got connected with her because I'm obsessed with the Kuiper Belt objects. But she also has written a book on Lilith, and she does a lot with regard to the divine feminine in astrology. So her optional paid workshop is this Friday, going to be live this Friday, February 9th at noon Pacific time, but it'll be recorded. It'll be available indefinitely. You can purchase it anytime. You don't need to be there live. And she's also doing a free talk on cosmic couples, where she's going to be talking about some of those Kuiper Belt objects and Mars and Venus and other things in our astrological world. And so that free talk will be coming out in the last week of June. But this Friday, June 9th, she'll be doing a live workshop if you want to be there. Highly recommend it. And also this Friday, the other two super beautiful, exciting workshops happening are with a storytelling, the divine feminine through storytelling with Katrina Brunke, who's a German storyteller. So powerful, so beautiful. That will be at 9 a.m. Pacific time this Friday, June 9th. Again, these are all recorded, all available indefinitely. You do not need to be there live, but you're welcome to be there live. And then at 3 p.m. Pacific this Friday is going to be wonderful, beautiful workshop with Vanessa Nixon on an introduction to sacred belly dance. And so her free talk in the symposium is about the history of belly dance and, the beautiful, real, actual history of it. It's which I didn't know, and I loved hearing about. The bottom line essentially is that belly dance, according to her, was actually done by women for women, to help us to be in relationship with each other and in relationship with the rhythms of our bodies through the life cycle. So it's not, it's really actually the perception of it has gotten quite distorted. And so Vanessa is kind of helping us to come back to this relationship we can have in our own bodies, whatever our gender happens to be, with the divine feminine, through movement, through belly dance, through who we are. So those are the three workshops happening on this Friday, June 9th. But every Friday of June, there are also other optional paid workshops, including, for those of you into astrology, the very, very, very last workshop of the whole symposium on Friday, June 30th is going to be with Moshe Wolfe, who many of you know and is a good friend and my original astrology teacher. And he's going to be doing a workshop on looking at Libra and Aries in your natal chart, specifically given that Pluto is going to be squaring the nodes as the nodes switch into Aries and Libra. So he'll be taking volunteer charts, and that'll be really, really beautiful and wonderful. And I'm very excited to be there myself.
and, countless others. There's a total of 14 optional paid workshops. And I've made a sliding scale for all of it. So you could have all 14. For the lowest option is at $125 for all 14, which is less than $10 each. It's kind of amazing, because I'm really trying to make it possible for as many people as possible to be part of it. But 33 talks are free, totally free, and available indefinitely. You can sign up anytime. And then the last thing I'll say is there's also, as part of the symposium, but you can sign up just directly for that, is a a solstice celebration, which I'm really excited about. It's going to be on Tuesday, June 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And that will be with one of the wonderful speakers in the symposium, Erin Duffy Burke. And I will do a channeled, guided, brief experience of, coming into the energetic of the solstice. And then Erin is going to lead us through most of the time together in ecstatic dance celebration. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. I felt like that would be a really beautiful way to celebrate the solstice together. And I would love to have you there. And that's included in that. If you get that all in one bundle, all of what I'm talking about is included in that. Yeah, but again, if you just feel called to the free 33 talks, please, please, please sign up for those. There's also going to be 4 free live panel discussions each Thursday of June. And we would love to have you there live for that. So again, sign up for the free symposium, and I'll send you the Zoom link, and you can be there live at those panel discussions. The first one being this Thursday, and then at each Thursday of June. Okay, I think that's it for right now. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. I would love to hear your thoughts, your reflections, anything you want to share with me. And be in touch anytime. livingtheonelight.com, livingtheonelight@gmail.com. Yeah, come to the symposium. Okay, see you soon.